guys, my name is Vinny, and I'm at the Blackhawks ball game, and you're watching Post to Post.
Hello and welcome to Post, the channel where we discuss all things hockey and all teams. And the New Jersey Devils, as some of you may know if you've watched from older videos, I was never really a big fan of New Jersey, mainly due to their older style of play, that boring trap system. But now the Devils are a totally different team. They play a new structure, a new style, and they're much more exciting to watch. That's in thanks to players like Taylor Hall, Nico Hischier, Pavel Zacha, Will Butcher. The list kind of goes on. They're kind of a fun team to watch. However, the Devils have struggled as of late over the past couple of weeks. I think they're on a 3 or 4 game losing streak. I just watched the New Jersey versus Boston game. I'm not really going to talk about that game specifically and the outcome of that game. New Jersey lost, but I wanted to talk about a few things that I've noticed from New Jersey over the past couple of weeks, and mainly the entire season. So this is going to be a little sloppy. I just have some notes written down here. But I first wanted to talk about their line combinations. And I think a lot of people look at New Jersey on paper and they see a team that is has potential of maybe sneaking in the playoffs, but not a real cup contender. Now, the title of this video is New Jersey a cup contender? My answer is actually no, and New Jersey fans, I know you don't want to hear that, but of course I'm going to be honest with you guys, regardless of if you dislike the video or disagree with me, that's fine, but I do not believe that they're cup contenders. I think on paper they have the ability to sneak in the playoffs, maybe get a round in, or get a win in round 1. I do not see them getting by round 2. Just think the Metro's too tough this year. I think they have too much inconsistency. But if you look up the middle in New Jersey, you've got Nico Hischier, you've got Zacha, you've got Zajac, and you've got Boyle. That's a pretty underrated depth center ice there for New Jersey. I don't think the rest of the league and a lot of the analysts, professional analysts, give New Jersey the credit where credit is due, and that's up the middle in New Jersey. Where they struggle is on the sides. Drew Stafford's a good player. He's a great depth player. But if he's playing in a top 6 role, and that's a little bit due to the Johansson injury, but if your top 6 replacement player is Drew Stafford, you're a bit weak on the sides, like especially on that right side. So as the trade deadline approaches, I don't really see New Jersey being huge players in the trade deadline. I think they know their place, and that place is on the edge of the playoffs. However, in the offseason, I fully expect New Jersey to really take a step forward, get in those key pieces that they're missing, and this is a team that could really, and I mean really, contend for a Stanley Cup in the next 2 to 5 years. They have some young talent coming up. If they make the right trades, this could be a very competitive team, and even on paper, and even right now, they still can be a very competitive team. Corey Schneider is, I believe, 31. He's got 5 years left on his contract at $6 million, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. Great solid goaltender. His numbers are fantastic, minus last year. But he's a very solid goaltender. The future is bright for the next 5 years for New Jersey. So even though this season is kind of on a downward trend, you have to be confident and happy to where the team's going. Now, if you look at the back end, you've got Green, Lovejoy, Mueller, Vatanen, Butcher, and Severson. I'm okay with that back end. There's a few changes that I would make, obviously, but on paper, I feel like there are more improvements to be made. But when I watch them in a game, I feel like there's a lot of chemistry on the back end. One thing I noticed, specifically in tonight's game, because it was the most recent one I watched, is their play on the power play. They use the umbrella system. And if you don't know what the umbrella is, it's one guy kind of back at the point. You've got a guy on the side, guy on the other side, guy in the middle, and the guy right in front of the goalie. Maybe I'll draw it up at the end of this video. I'll drop a power play scheme for you. And they they cycle the puck much better 5-on-5. They're a great team that they just 5-on-5. They can cycle the puck. I would put them in the top 5 of the league. Just watching what I watched tonight in the past couple of games and comparing to all the other teams, they're a team that can cycle the puck 5-on-5. But on the power play, ugh, I feel like they get a little too deep on the sides, and it creates a lot of opportunistic chances going back. There were some 2-on-1s, some short-handed opportunities. I'm not gonna put the knife in a little harder tonight. Tonight was a tough loss for the Devils, but I feel like they're a little too puck focused and get a little too deep on the power play, and it gets them in trouble. So, but 5-on-5, it was like a totally different team. They seem to have a lot more confidence 5-on-5, and their power play numbers, I think they're 14th in the league. Their penalty kills 13th, so they're really kind of in the mid-range of teams as far as special teams goes. Another thing I noticed that is their power play, or not their power play, their face-offs. They kind of struggle in the face-off circle. They're 30th in the league in face-offs, and Pavel Zacha is on their second line center, and his face-off numbers are actually below 50%, around 47.3, I believe. And that's tough to say because he's my favorite player on New Jersey. But he does struggle in the face-off circle. But watching him on the power play, he's a magician. He really is. He doesn't get enough credit. I feel like he gets a lot of good opportunities, but he just can't get that finish. It's frustrating to watch. And New Jersey, just in general, has had a terrible puck luck this year. They've had calls go against them that should have gone the other way. It's just been a really frustrating time to be a Devils fan in certain situations this year. Another thing I noticed, which is kind of the last thing on this list for me, is that the defense pinch a lot. And it's kind of like in the umbrella when, in the power play, they kind of get themselves into a little bit of trouble. On some 2-on-1s and some opportunities, shorthanded. When the defenseman pinches, it seems like half of the time, the forward who doesn't take responsibility for covering the defensive guy and drops back. So I would like to see a little bit more responsibility from the wingers coming back and covering for the defenseman pinching, because it seems like they were getting into a little bit of trouble tonight with that. But I put that on coaching staff, not so much the players. I guess one other thing is $8 million. They have free in the cap. Like I said near the beginning, I do not see them using it. I really don't see them going out and getting someone at the trade deadline. I think they know their place, like I said. I feel like they'll hold on to that cap space. They'll probably be fairly quiet near the trade deadline, and then in the offseason, they'll make some moves. But that's all for this portion of the video. Since I said I'm going to drop the umbrella, I'm going to go do that now. Okie dokie, as you can see, I have a very professional drawn arena here. I guess I forgot the red line, didn't I, here? I'll throw the net in there. So what I'm going to do is draw up the defensive positions on the penalty kill. So they can be orange. The defensive team can be orange. Usually they play the box. That's just a typical thing to do. Now the umbrella, there's kind of they call it two different things. The umbrella is more tight and the 1-3-1 is more wide. They're basically the same thing, but we'll call this umbrella. So we've got a guy there, a guy in the middle, a guy there, and then a defenseman back here, and then a guy right in front of the net, really annoying that goalie to pieces. So the idea is to do a lot of this, back and forth on the point, like this. Draw these guys over and back and over and back. Sometimes you'll see them switch positions to throw them off, but what I see a lot in this structure on the power play, not so much in the old days when they used to do the umbrella, but more so now, is they'll try and force quick passes to this guy to get a quick shot at the net, or more specifically, more often, an entire cross ice pass way over to this winger here to get this shot. And Ovechkin, that's his office right there. That's where he scores most of his power play goals. So look for that in the Washington power play, and New Jersey does it as well. The problem is that, let me change colors here. The problem is that the pass can be cut off here, and when that happens, this guy, this defensive player, goes straight up the ice. This player goes straight up the ice. And this guy is the only guy back to stop that 2-on-1. So these wingers have to pay attention. One winger, one defenseman, because one defenseman moves up. A lot of the times on the power play, specifically New Jersey, Hall will play the defense, drop back and play defense. But really, Hall's over here or over here. It changes. So they actually only have technically one defenseman on the ice, and he's usually the only one back. Anyway, just thought I'd draw that up a little bit. Hope you guys enjoyed it, learned something new. I know this isn't pretty. I'm not very good at this, but hope you had fun regardless watching. Alright guys, thank you very much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. Let me know down in the comments how you feel about New Jersey's chances this year. Are they going to make the playoffs? Are they going to make moves at the deadline? What do you see for their offseason? Let me know down in the comments. I love hearing from you guys. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you're new here, hope you can hit the subscribe button. And I'll see you in the next one. Adios.